언젠가 꽃은 지겠지 but no not today 그때가 오늘은 아니지 no no not today 아직은 죽기에는 더 그때 no no not today no 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 not today 그래 우리는 extra but still part of this world extra plus ordinary 그것도 별거 아니야 오늘은 절대 죽지 마라 빛은 어둠을 뚫고 나가 새 세상 넌 원해 baby yes I want it 날아갈 수 없음 뛰어 Today we will survive 뛰어갈 수 없음 걸어 Today we will survive 걸어갈 수 없음 기어 기가서라도 길러 그나참 찾은 발사 Not today Not today 멘트들하다 hands up 친구들하다 hands up 나를 믿는다면 hands up 찾은 발사 죽지 마라 묻지 마라 소리 질러 Not today 걷지 마라 오지 않아 손을 들어 Not today Not today Not today Not today 찾은 발사
Hello,
I think we should
everyone.
play it again.
Again?
Let's play it again.
It's what, like
No, I'm kidding.
2 minutes? Okay, so, hi guys.
Hello.
We have another perfect dev stream starting amazingly with what we just showed you. I saw some entity displeased, but we were pretty, actually,
I'm pleased.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
Mm.
Anyways, so hello, Dave.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good.
All right.
There's going to be a lot of information today on the stream. I want to welcome everybody that's here. Bjorn, hi Bjorn. He's waving. You don't see him, but he is. Azayu, Clyde, Getawid, Murph, Ryudi, Sassy, Shiroku, Suggestive, Faded, and Vorfidus. Thank you for being here and keeping the chat in check, I guess. I can't see it because there's too many questions on top of it.
Mm.
So we're gonna start by a couple of news and announcement. We're gonna talk about Freddy Balance. I'm looking at him. That doesn't look like it, but I am. We wanted to talk about the raid cube, but Horvat, that was supposed to come to the stream, is sick, so we're just gonna let him rest this afternoon, and we're gonna talk about the raid cube next week.
Raid cube, I have a tiny update, but I don't have all the meat.
Yes, so since we want to get into like a lot more
Right.
details that we're gonna do here, we're gonna wait for next week.
It's good.
Roadmaps and bugs. We have like a lot of good news in that department. We have amazing stats today from Julien,
Yeah.
our stat guy, about Freddy actually, because there was a lot of question about him. Q&A as normal, and then some from the web curated by the mods this week.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yes,
That's interesting.
because normally when Matt's not there, I just don't do it, and then I thought, hey,
Yeah.
it would be cool.
Maybe this should become a thing so that Matt doesn't get all the touchy feely weird.
There is no touchy weird this week.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We're gonna start by I can't.
Okay, it's done.
I can't do
It's
this.
over.
I can't read with it.
Great.
Anyways, that was my cheap Huntress attempt.
That's pretty good.
So, we're gonna start by a couple of news and announcement. Very important things. Very touchy subject. We're starting by bans. So, we have a couple of EAC bans that rolled up last week. We tested and verified the process, and the process is solid. So if you have been banned by EAC, you have to take it to EAC. So the ban appeal will be through EAC. We also not reviewed, not changed the rule, but enforced some rules, and I want to make sure that everybody understand here. Extreme threats. What do we mean by that? We are obviously soft banning for, kill yourself comments and stuff like that. Extreme threats are, I'm gonna come to your house and kill you. This shit is an automatic permaban.
No.
We are not dealing with this. So no. So this is not a change to the rule. It's just a reminder, because we got a couple of cases, and this is not acceptable.
So if I'm a victim, what do I do?
Well, we're actually improving our report
Right.
system for this right now.
Okay.
So we're gonna have an actual form that you fill in, and it goes directly to the mods instead of adding the mods and then
Right.
getting to.
So
This should roll next week, early-ish.
Okay.
I don't want to promise anything.
Okay.
And another thing that I'm super happy about is that we got, remember about the disconnectors, right? People disconnect in a lot of games. There's been, rumors about us, oh, they don't do anything or anyways, or actually we got the numbers for the last month, and be prepared, people, because there's a lot of people on that list. You're gonna have a little timeout this weekend.
That's a shame.
So that's a shame, but at the same time, if you're playing 400
yeah.
games and you're leaving 300,
Yeah.
maybe you shouldn't play.
Yeah.
So that is, sorry guys, I want to see the chat, so I'm checking this here.
So don't cheat, not worth it.
Yep.
And don't disconnect. Just try to just try to learn. I mean, a disconnection once in a while, it might not be your fault. That's fine. But yeah, 300 out of 400.
Yes, that is very bad. And some people have been doing it 2 months in a row. So that is an automatic 48 hours. We're not going to wait.
Right.
Maybe even more for some cases. So we have cases who are ridiculous. All right. China, we're going to talk a little bit. We went to WePlay.
Right. In China.
WePlay, yes, in China. We have a new community manager for China exclusively. So his name is Andy. Pretty amazing guy.
Hi, Andy.
And I wanted to welcome him to the team. So now we have me here in the Behavior Studio. We have Clyde in Russia, and we have Andy in China. Of course, they're going to help me also on other projects, but they're going to mainly take care of their community. So, yay, good news. Another little detail, the WePlay exclusive for Fengmin.
Right. Please
Please stop spamming me. It is not available outside of China. Thank you.
Oh, look. It's Andy. He has a cat.
He has a cat.
That's great.
And he dresses his cat, which is fucking great. All right, so that is it for China for now. We also are going to G-Star in Korea next month. Well, this month, actually, in 2 weeks. So Alex, Mathieu, and I are going to fly to Korea, and meet with people over there. Yay!
Yeah, that's great.
What else? Customer support. Okay, this is a big one. We know there is delays. We are actually working to improve these delays. You can also help. Please do not spam. What I'm saying here is, if you're writing multiple emails, every time a new email comes in, they need to merge it with your original request, which means more time for everyone. And I'm saying this because we have example of people, and when I say spamming, is over 50, 100 emails for the same case.
Wow.
So that slows down the process for everybody. As long as you have a ticket number, your ticket's gonna be treated. Please do not send multiple emails. Thank you. Other thing, important, complete loss of progress are treated as a priority versus partial loss of progress. So if someone lost their whole progress, no matter how many hours they lost, it's going to be treated as a priority versus, oh, I lost 1 week of progress. Can you give me a compensation for that?
Okay.
So that's it. Then, yeah, I didn't have a confirmation on this, but Console Freddy chapter. Thank you for your patience. We are doing our best to bring the new chapter as fast as we can. You guys know that when we had dates for other chapter, we gave it to you. So we do not have dates today. This is why I'm saying this. Thank you for being patient. We don't have dates. When we do,
That's just how it
you're
goes.
gonna know it.
Yeah.
All right. We can maybe go through a little bit of the Freddy rebalance,
Yeah,
a little bit of the
absolutely.
bugs and everything,
Yeah.
and then we can go to the general issue roadmap bugs later.
Right. So we monitored obviously the first couple of days of Freddy. It was very interesting. In what we've seen, well, a lot of interesting things we're going to see in the different graphs that Julien gave us as well. We've analyzed this, and we agreed that in very early life, so when you're rank 20, when you start a game, it is quite challenging to face the nightmare, let's say.
For the majority of our player base, yes.
Yeah, so starting against, like, as soon as we get into high-ranked play, Freddy feels way more balanced. And this is what our numbers show as well. So there's a lot of components here that plays a role into this, especially for the first couple of ranks. But anyways, we had a plan. Anyways, we have like always for any of our killers or component in the game, we have tweakables, so things that we can change here and there. And we're making a couple of different changes to the nightmare. So that's what we're going to talk today. The dispatch is going to be live next week, so nothing for this week.
On PC.
Yeah, on PC. On PC.
Specifically.
On PC. Yeah, again, this dispatch for console needs to go through cert and everything else. So
The same system
yeah,
every time.
Don't have the dates for that. So in no particular order. First of all, when you use your power as Freddy, oh watch out, it's gonna restart.
No.
No, I don't want to. When you use your power as Freddy, there is a slowdown. So that slowdown was quite quick. Slowdown on his movement. So you can still look around and do everything else, but there was a very slight slowdown. So this slowdown has been increased. So each time you put someone to sleep, you'll not be able to run as fast as it was before. So small little thing. In your awake state, survivor will hear the lullaby at an increased range. So we've increased the range of that little song, the nursery rhyme, so that you can get the fuck out when you hear it, so that you don't fall into sleep right away. Most importantly, in two changes, this one is really interesting. When you're dreaming and you're out of the terror radius, Freddy sees your outline, right? But we're adding a delay. That when you get out of this range, you'll have a 10 seconds to be invisible to Freddy.
So let me get this straight. So I'm being chased by Freddy,
Yes.
right? I juke him around, he loses me, and I have 10 seconds for him to turn around and try to find me. He doesn't see my outline for 10 seconds.
Even if
And
you're
then-
out of the terror radius.
Okay, and then after 10 seconds, he sees my outline back.
Yes.
So I have 10 seconds to either get some distance or wake myself up.
Yeah,
Or
get some
get
help.
wake up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this would help absolutely to get away and get out of the dream state. That's what you want to do. Okay, I'm just gonna cross the one I've talked about, so I'm not getting confused. Another important thing, the slugging with Freddy is real. So we made a change with that that's gonna make this game more interesting and closer to what the other killers will have as the gameplay around slugging. So instead of having to wake up the person on the floor and on the ground and then heal, this action will be merged in one action. So basically you can get to a survivor that's dying complete the healing process, and it will
After the healing process is totally done,
Wake
then he
up.
wakes you up. Question: if I run Unbreakable
right.
and I get myself up with Unbreakable, will I wake up? Oh, okay. Question for Orvat.
I don't know.
Unbreakable.
I don't know.
All right.
So at least in most of these cases, if the person on the ground manage to recover to the 95%, and you get there and you complete it, it will wake them up at the same time, so you'll be able to run away, scatter, in much less time than if you'd had to do the wake up before. We are adding a UI element to the player status to tell if the survivor is sleeping or not. So just like the Doctor Insanity, you'll have an idea for killers and survivor who needs to be woken up. So that's going to help a little bit. It's good quality of life. What else? Here's an interesting change as well. When the survivor is in the transition between, when he's falling asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that 7 seconds, Freddy will be intermittent visible.
Okay.
So he will flash in and out rather than being visible at all time. So we believe this is actually a buff, but only in high-ranked play. Questions?
No.
All right.
I was gonna ask you actually get that the unbalance was like really linked to skills. Right?
Absolutely.
So I see a lot of nerfs here. This is a slight buff. Do you have other buffs or other things?
Well,
going on?
we're still playing with this. So even the values that I tell today are not necessarily the one that's going to go through the patch. We're still playing with these changes. So we might need other things. Right now, there's no other buff in that patch list. And we believe that these changes, of course, is going to make Freddy a little bit weaker in all cases. But really where it's going to help, it's for the lower ranked survivor. So if you're a new player, if you...
Yeah, you guys, we're going to show you stats after.
Absolutely.
You might understand
Absolutely.
where we're coming from on that.
Yeah. Then other change that we've made that are quite interesting. There's someone on the last Twitch that asked if adrenaline would wake up survivor, and we thought it was it made a lot of sense and was on brand. So we've added that to adrenaline.
It's even lore friendly.
Exactly. So adrenaline perk is gonna wake you up if you're dreaming.
Okay. A lot of critics that were saying about Freddy at high rank is about the way that he was getting just run around and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is there so apart from the dream transition, is there anything on that, or is there anything outside of Freddy that we're changing that's gonna help?
Absolutely. So this is something quite interesting. I won't go deep into the subject. I'll let Orvat explain it quite well afterwards. But there is something that we're working on right now on design side for the tear radius in the chase, so that you can have better mind game in close quarter while in chase with survivor. And this is not only for Freddy; it would be something for all killers. So it would make this game an high skilled game. So high skilled survivor will have a harder time against killer thanks to this new mechanic. Other changes, actually there's one last I'd like to talk about. Remember Me is in the obsession perk. We like to have a risk reward mechanic on most of the obsession perks, and this one was lacking this component. So there is a change to that perk that's going to come in the next patch, which is so you collect token every time you hit the obsession, but if you kill that obsession, half of the token are going to be taken away from you.
Okay, so you want to keep it alive until...
If you want the full effect. So just to remember me, just to remember the players, is the perk that adds time to the gate opening process. And last thing, we're adding also some polish and VFX to art polish, to Freddy in general and the effects around Freddy, just so that everybody has a little bit better experience with him visually.
Yes. And by the way, I see comments in the chat. It's not balanced around rank 20s. It's balanced around most of the player base, and I think also, I mean, I'm also a high ranked player, but I rely a lot on stealth and boldness, and this killer specifically forces you. Like I don't like to just loop palettes, but kind of forces you to do it. So with the little change with the auras, maybe it's gonna, you know, encourage people to try that out instead. We'll see.
My trick with Freddy is to just never get caught.
Yeah,
in the dream state, you just get away. Stay in it.
That is hard to do.
Yeah.
If they, yeah. Okay. So that is what we're working on right now. There's going to be slight changes. First wave of changes. Of course, everything is going to be relooked at a little bit after a little bit more time also. We can go and maybe put on the... Well, actually, we can go on the stats since we just talked about Freddy, and then we're going to go about general issues, bugs, roadmaps, and everything. So, stats from Freddy. So there was a big peak.
Obviously.
So,
you know, facing Freddy a lot of the time at the beginning on the release, that's, you know, obvious it's gonna happen, and then it slowly gets back to, you know, normals. We don't have the comparative here, but the Huntress, for example, was way higher, probably because it was free content. But at the time of the Huntress release, you had about something like 70% chance to face the Huntress, and then slowly gets back to normal values. There you go. So currently at about 30%.
Last time I played, I didn't see one Freddy.
No,
not one.
So this is the one that's really interesting. Probability of escaping against Freddy per rank. So you know, 40%, 50% is about right. It's about average. We have another slide with I hope it's that version. We have another slide with comparative with other killers. But as we can see, the entry point is quite low. So it's really difficult for beginning players or players that are just in the rank 20, rank 19. If you want to go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so this is, you know, the comparison with all the other killers. So what's important to look at here is not the top and low point necessarily. It's more like of the clump of all the lines. If they're all grouped together, it's a good sign. If there's one that goes, you know, stretch a long way, it's not a good sign. So in this case, Nightmare entry point for rank 20 is quite low. So this is why we wanted to address him. Then he goes with the other lines. The one that is the lowest, if you have the question, at rank 20 is the Hillbilly. So Hillbilly has the highest efficiency. And the yellow line, which is very high in the rank 20, is the Nurse, which is something that we all know. Nurse is quite difficult to use when you're starting, but then as it goes along in the rank, they get more efficient and they join the rest of the killers. And last slide. Now this is also very, very interesting. So there's a lot of components that explain why the escape rate is so low for rank 20s against the Nightmare, and one of them is that a lot of survivor will disconnect. Seeing that you're facing the Nightmare and disconnecting means that the rest of the group is gonna have a lot difficult time to survive Freddy.
I'm surprised about the Nurse, because every time I play Nurse, I do one blink and then people leave. So I'm really surprised Nurse is lowest.
So you see how high this bar is, and I'm not sure if this is only for rank 20 or if it's a general thing.
Whoever's leaving, beware, because...
Yeah. So I would, I would urge players to stay around, try to learn to play against the nightmare. You know, take this chance. It's okay if you get killed in the first 2 minutes. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from what the other player has been doing, and you'll get it eventually. That's it. That's it. Very interesting stats this week.
Yes, and we can go to general issues if you. Thank you. All right, so we put that general issues because it's both PC and console mixed up together. Loss of progress, what I'm saying here is we're rolling the fix, which means we're going to go gradually on a maybe 2-3 weeks period, and we're gonna switch gradually to the save game being on our servers. That's basically what it does. So we're starting rolling the fix next week. Yay! If you ever experience loss of progress again, please contact support. Make sure you have all the information in the email, and we're gonna be able to see if you're in the new or the old system, and then we're gonna be able to readjust and see if this. For now, with the test group, everything went well. So. We're pretty confident about this one. Yeah.
So we go with larger.
But we're
larger,
still
larger group.
doing it. We're still rolling it slowly.
It's safe.
Yeah, safer.
Yeah.
Save game errors. So we have a partial fix, which means save game error 200 and 201 might still occur. If it happens to you, please contact us. We're gonna look into your file and see what's up. One gate on Azarov. So we had this issue, which something I didn't talk about. There was a big hack that we actually caught about unpacking the files, taking stuff off, and basically deciding, you can't cleanse the totems anymore.
Interesting.
Hey, you can't save people from hooks anymore. Stuff like that. This has been fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And also will flag you on EAC.
Don't do it, don't cheat.
So one gate on Azarov for us, for a moment, I thought, and I was completely wrong, that it might have been related to the cheat wave that we had, which we crushed. And but it's not, it is a bug, so it is specifically on that map.
The rate
it's investigating. We're investigating right now.
Right.
Same for Nurson swamp map buildings. Basically going back to the Grim Pantry building, and also the boat.
Okay.
On basically, if you play nurse and you're downstairs and you blink, and if you're the place you're gonna end up is basically blocked, you end up upstairs.
Right.
So that is being investigated by QA right now, actually.
Right.
Same for scratch marks appearing when you pick up a survivor.
Oh, check it out.
So what we did is we took the whole scratch mark issue and we divided it by multiple small bugs. Right. So we're gonna go through small bugs one at a time. And killer power on the ground. This one is happening still randomly. It's really hard to reproduce. We're trying to reproduce it, but it's a bitch to do.
These are the toughest bug to fix, obviously, the one that are randomly happening.
Yes, exactly. We can go to PC bug, for example. All right. Same loss of progress. We're rolling in the fix. I've seen a lot of peripheral issues, so sound, mouse, keyboards that work weird since the last patch. So we're looking into it. We saw a lot of reports on that. We're gonna live forever. Supposedly doesn't give you the token for protecting, so we are in the reproduction step right now. I'm calling it the Naruto bug
Oh yeah, that
because
one is awesome.
because of
Oh
that.
no, it's fixed.
It's fixed.
Oh.
Well, actually, if it was only visual,
Yeah.
it would have been that much of a problem. But it was visual for a bit, and then you were falling through
Yeah.
the world, and
That
then
sucks.
you were just ending your game there.
Yeah.
So that will be fixed. Nice.
Well, if you haven't seen it, try to find a video online on YouTube of.
Yes, it's
it's
really
really
funny until it happens to you like every couple games, and then you
Obviously.
always fall in the world. So it
So
is
good.
not just a visual bug; it is an actual like.
So fixed. That's good.
See, yeah. Nurse Springwood Road. I call that the road bug, but basically the nurse can't blink outside on the road. So we are in repro right now with the QA team, and we still have the shack pallet issue where you get stuck in the pallet, and it happens a bit more. So we're looking into. So we were talking about, is it an animation? Is it what it is it coming from? So.
Okay.
That is under investigation right now.
Investigon.
Yes. Next, for console. Yeah. Rank reset. We add a partial fix. So apparently it fixed it for some people. And some other people are still experiencing the rank reset. Shelby from QA was asking if you are still experiencing it, please contact her on Steam or on Discord. So she can give your specific case to the programmers that were doing.
So if they don't know who Shelby is, they go through mud, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they don't know, but she is hanging out a lot on the
Right.
Steam forums for the console bug section.
Okay.
FPS, we actually have a whole team working on optimization right now for console.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. When we say fixed or ongoing, this is next patch, so not the one that just happened. Xbox Larry sound, it is fixed finally. Larry wall renders also. So there was a problem with the render of the walls. Springwood map. You can get the offerings in the Blood Web. They will not work until the chapter is released. You can play the map in Kill Your Friend. It's the only way you can get the map. So the map is not live on PvP yet. So that is important. Then we can go to the roadmap, which didn't really move since last week. The next thing that's gonna happen is the balance update with Freddy. A couple of a lot of bug fix in that one, and the 3 down there. Raid Q badge and Blood Web improvement can still change. So the order can still change, but they are the next in line for what's happening for us. About stealth, I see the question in the chat being spammed a little bit. That would come, stealth points would come with badge update.
Absolutely.
So
there's
that
a lot
is
more,
that's very interesting.
Not only a scoring point, but there's goals to be stealthy with the badge update.
So that's we can maybe go through a couple of questions here. I'm gonna check with the chat.
Absolutely.
I didn't check Discord mods. I'm so sorry. If you guys are here, thank you.
When do you think you'll have to slow down releasing new killers? In my mind, once there's too many, people will be confused and forget killers even exist. This is a question by Scott on Steam, I guess. Well, we don't know. We love making new chapters and killers. It's fun. We are adding the more content. But yes, it's true that it can get confusing. So instead of stopping you doing killers, we're looking into ways to teach survivors and killers how to use these new characters. So that we've added a while back the loading tips and more information in the menus. So this was the first step, and we're looking into adding more of onboarding. So onboarding is your first experience with the game. So not necessarily if you're only a new player, but when there's new content, there'll be a much better onboarding that's going to help you understand this new
So
content.
when we say onboarding, it's like, for example, I can load in a tutorial and then play a tutorial.
For example.
For example.
For example.
Just because onboarding, first time I heard that. I was
Yes, like, what the hell does this
what
mean?
the hell is this?
Yeah.
Question I've seen in the chat, and I actually want to ask you, what
Sure.
about dedicated servers? What's happening with that? Do we have...
It's just not a thing.
Not a thing,
It's not a
okay.
thing.
Thank
It's
you.
not a thing. Yeah, it's just not a thing.
All right. We can go for...
Right. Since survivors can unhook from all sides, will it be possible for killers to hook survivors from all sides? It could be. I think there's a lot of interaction that in the game that would need a little bit of polish like this. If it makes for a better experience, then yes. Is it something that's gonna happen tomorrow? No. But it's something that we could look into. It was important for Survivor to be able to do this because they would get blocked, and this sucks. So now we gave them the tool to unblock from a face camping killer. Killers don't necessarily have this issue. They can get blocked in front of the hook, but they can hit.
That's actually when I run Thanatophobia and they do that, I'm like, okay, no problem. One hit for you and for you.
Yay.
But it can be frustrating.
Yes.
And we can see that.
So why not?
So it's not, the door is not closed on that one.
Absolutely not.
Perfect. But it's not in the plans right now.
No, not
Just
in the plan
want to
right
specify, don't expect it next week.
Any plans on introducing customizable basement for killers? We talk about this one once in a while. It would be quite cool. I would love this feature.
It would be cool. Let's be honest. Is it in the plans?
Absolutely not.
Thank you. So don't, like, there's a lot of things like,
It would be cool.
it would be so cool.
I want it.
Like,
But
we
no.
want to be like 3 times our team, maybe, but yeah,
Yeah,
that is in the dream state.
yeah. That one's for you.
That one's for you. Yes, actually, I'm looking into. Okay, so this question: now that we can see the ping of people joining lobby, will MLGA be blacklisted? Dev were against. Bon, okay, so I don't need the rest of the question. Basically, saying with MLGA right now, what you can do, of course, look at the ping, back up your files, and then there's a little feature that you can block an IP. Or you can, it's not actually blocking you from going in the game, it's saying, this IP you're playing against right now, you blocked it earlier. Most people have changing IPs, which means that normally when you play another round or whatever, or another day, it's not gonna be necessarily still there. We are actually in discussion, like I actually messaged a guy from MLGA, I'm trying to find what the position of behavior on this will be.
Right.
Right now I don't have an answer, but don't worry, I have this on my list of things that I'm trying to figure out this week. So
Great.
there's decisions to be made, there is discussion to be had, and
Okay.
that's it.
Jelly is asking, will there be more done for winter events, such as what happened for Halloween? Yes.
More done. What do you mean by more done? It was
think-
not enough, Dave. We
No,
want
no,
more.
I mean,
I
it's
always
pretty nice
want
here.
more,
Just
that's for
saying
sure,
that,
but
there's been a nice progression since the last
Okay.
couple of events we did. So,
Yes.
are you continuing on that progression?
well, hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, we can't do always bigger because at some point
No.
there's gonna have to have
Yeah.
stuff, right?
And it really depends on all the other things that we're doing at the same time. It depends on, the team. Is the team available to push on this sort of content?
What I would that's what I forgot. I wanted to have the person who did the mask for the nurse. Because there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, come on, more cosmetics right now, come on. Oh, this is just a recolor. It doesn't, it's not a value or anything. How much time does it take to make the nurse mask with the
Right.
VX
Mhm.
effect?
Yeah,
with
it's
like
actually
all
more
the
than
concept?
one person. So it
How many
takes quite some
people
time.
worked on it?
4 or 5.
4 people? Okay.
Yeah. There's one artist,
Yes.
but it has to go through the whole pipeline. So there's quite a few people that need to touch each cosmetic that we do, and I mean, yeah. So it takes a little bit of time.
So and just like basic estimation, how much time did we put on that map?
I couldn't say actually.
Yeah.
It depends on the person, but from it's not like so the time frame I'm gonna give you is not like we start and we don't
Stop.
don't
Yeah,
stop.
yeah,
It's on and off, but it could take a week or a week and a half or two even
Mhm.
from start to finish. From the let's find the idea of what it is to final product into the game.
Yes, and then we're talking new 3D model and everything. So,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of things that people don't think about. Also, like all the icons, all the things
icons,
that
the,
we're
the
adding.
text, the
So-
VFX, the making sure that it's rigged properly on the character. So there's an animator looking into it as well.
Testers. you need to
Testers, yeah,
test.
absolutely. So,
So-
there's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that because I do think the Halloween event was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I think the art team did way more than I thought they would.
Right.
Because of the time that I've been told they had to do stuff.
But it was really fun. So
And what they and of course we thought about it would have been cool if there was Halloween stuff in the maps. Yes, it would have been cool, but we don't have time and we have to choose between between.
Is it over now? Is the lobby off?
I
don't think so.
hope not because I
Oh.
have more Halloween items to farm.
Yeah, go farm.
I
these
think
items
it's
right
gonna
now.
be off next week when we do the patch.
Right.
But the double blood point is done.
Blueberry is asking, are any of the pictures in the houses on Haddonfield possible Easter eggs for future maps, killer, survivor features? Who knows? How soon will killers be ranked individually? Not soon.
Is it on the plans?
I have to get convinced, and I understand why it could be like that, but I'm not sure if that is the solution.
For example,
So, thinking about
I'm horrible at Hillbilly, so I wait for rank reset to actually play
to
Hillbilly.
try Hillbilly. I
And
understand.
sometimes it's a bit sad
Yeah,
because
and-
I wish I could play Hillbilly whenever I want.
Absolutely. So this is another thing that we actually already discussed on this Twitch stream. Is we want you to be able to try. We want you to have incentive to try other killers and have fun with a lot of different killers and content. So of course, if you're scared of losing your rank because of this, it's not good. So are we gonna do something? Yeah. Is it gonna be tomorrow? No. Can you show us what the new progression system, Bloodweb rework, that has been talked about looks like? We could prepare something for next week, maybe.
Yes.
Or
Well,
when
we
we're
could
ready to
ask
show it.
Sarah to come and
Yes,
present her.
Sarah could present. Thomas could present on what he's done. It's not visual. Like the changes are mostly into quality of life and usability.
faster.
It's faster, for example. So, and what is most interesting is into the progression itself and how it was rebuilt. So this Thomas could present to you what happened.
Someone was asking us how many people on the Dead by Daylight team right now. About
About
60?
60-ish. Yeah.
About 60, but you
Right.
guys gotta realize there's people like me who are not programmers, right? So it's not
Right.
60 people fixing
No.
bugs and fixing stuff. So
Absolutely not.
absolutely not. So there's people exactly like me that I'm not gonna say I don't do anything, but
I have
I
to
don't do
teach you.
anything in the game like that.
With the Xbox One X about to be released, will you be optimizing the game for this console like so many other developers? Actually, you talked about that earlier. We are looking into all consoles right now, into optimizing. So there is a huge effort being put on by the team right now to optimize the game. Not necessarily specifically for this console, but all over the place. That we don't have the answer. Will the Trapper get a balance cube in the near future? No.
Next is Rate, and then we have Hag, and I think Nurse needs a rework.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the current state of sabotage? How much is used? How much is effective? So that's a question for our stat guy.
Yep.
That would be a
absolutely.
nice one. Maybe next week, if we don't have any other hot subject, we could go through sabotage analysis.
Yeah.
And
Now,
review these stats.
now Sabo is used a little bit more tactical.
Yeah. It's
You
good.
have to be using it as a last minute thing because if you're just mindlessly saboing, hooks are coming back.
Yes.
Yes, the stalemate cube is still in the backlog. When we start working on it, I will put it in the roadmap.
Yeah.
There's no info about the hag rework before we actually do the rate rework.
Yeah, that is correct.
There's a couple of other questions.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done with this little sheet of paper.
Okay. Does Freddy receive a notification when you miss the skill check? Yes. If it's on a gen?
Absolutely.
If he has nurses calling, he has a...
Yeah, so just like any other killers. If you fail a skill check to wake up, well, you'll know where you are, in which area.
Okay. Can we change the survivor legacy back? Some people don't like the color, some people do.
No, we cannot. So we've there's some changes that are practically invisible to you guys, to the characters that were made for various reasons, such as optimizing, and this has caused some material to change. Legacy is one that had to change, so that's why it's like that. And we cannot get the old look ever again.
I have actually a quality of life question for you.
All right.
About Survivor with Friends.
Yeah.
So we know it's a big issue for killers sometimes, and before we even relook at everything, just a slight change that would help probably a lot would be if you get killed and you end up in the end tally, you don't see the killer perk. Is that possible?
That's actually something that we've talked about quite some time. I thought it was there, so it's not.
It's not.
Obviously.
You can still see the perks, and you can easily tell your teammates, oh, he has NOED. So,
yeah, no,
as a killer,
absolutely.
this is a really big thing because they have information that they shouldn't be having.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
we have to change this.
Is that something that we can put on the...
I don't know in which one that we know we need to check
So that
the
would
producer,
be a start,
but,
right?
Absolutely,
So,
yeah.
Okay, so you're
it's
open
a good
to that.
thing to
Good.
absolutely.
Good, perfect. Rate changes. As I said earlier, Orvat is sick.
Right.
Donk. So we're gonna have the rate cube balance change talk next week.
Yep.
Now we can go to from the web, curated by the mods this week. We have 5 images, so it's gonna go quite fast. But they're pretty cute. So I'm gonna let you have a good 20 seconds on this one because it's really cute. So the comic strip is from Kuro. I think she's been, or I don't know. Andy, our community manager from China, sent us this. It's pretty amazing,
It's really
pretty
cool.
cute. Fire up perk is not bug. Okay, we can go to the next one.
Bjorn is still
Yeah.
reading.
Okay. This one is from Akimuta on Reddit. So pretty amazing cosplay right there for Halloween. We have a couple of them. Of course, there were a ton on Reddit, on Steam, everywhere. You guys were really amazing on cosplay and costumes. So we can go to the next one.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, this one is freaking amazing. Ekaterina Smirnova. That comes from our Russian CM, Clyde Ordova, our Russian mod. I don't know. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, really
She
nice.
even has like the hand cut. These two are from the We Play event that Matt, Alex, and Andy went to. So pretty cool take on Trapper here. A small Trapper. And Fangman and Michael Myers.
Of course. So
I don't
good.
have the names, sadly, on this one. And then I think I have another one, the last one. You don't? Okay.
Oh,
All right.
no.
Well then, That's gonna be the
Short
end
and
for that.
sweet.
We can take another 10 minutes of questions. And the ag
Shoot.
movement speed will beat to 4.6 from 4.4. I don't know where you got these questions. Let's go back to the mods. They probably have questions here. I agree with most. Kate and Mars. I agree with most of your assessment on Freddy, but there seems to be a lot of nerf coming all at once. Is there any particular reason you're not doing it piece by piece and all at once?
Well, it's our feeling that he needs all of it. I mean, we're testing it with all of these things at the same time. They're all also interconnected, and they are in different aspect of gameplay against Freddy. So Lullaby is in that first part. The slowdown is in the early chase. The outline is when escaping from the chase. So they're all different moments against Freddy. So that's why it's important to have them all.
Okay. We have one. When will we see a killer completely designed by you? Are there any fan design concept that you're considering implementing in the game?
Oh, you mean as another original, because it's been a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like the time is ripe to do original. Of course, we'll do more. So are we going to take? So the question is actually, are we going to take anything from
fan
fans?
based concepts?
I'm not sure. I can say that a lot of people in the team are reading these fan-made killers or the ideas from the fans. They're a great source of inspiration. So hey, we never know.
Okay. A lot of people are talking about customization for a DLC character, for like a lot of character in the game. They want more customization.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we're working on that as well. It's something that we have something that we're preparing. That's for sure. You'll get customization eventually.
All right. I think we did answer this quite a couple of times about cross-platform between
right.
console and PC. Will that ever happen?
It could. Seriously, there are some possibilities to do this. It's quite complex in many ways. It might happen. It's not something that we're planning right now, though.
Okay, can we stay in the Survivor friend group after someone does or after the game is ended? Is that something we can?
It's a possibility. It's more complex than it sounds. Actually, it's something that was in the bullet point of features needed for the Survive with Friend group. It's a thing that we wanted to have day one of the Swift mode. But it's actually quite complex into the engine, into the peer-to-peer system that we're using. So I'm not sure where it sits in the backlog, but it is there.
Yes. There's here. You guys are asking so many questions that I'm losing the ones. More pics or artwork, please. Matt is back next week, I think, so don't worry. There's going to be more. And there's going to be a lot of Nia. How do we get legacy items? You don't.
Yeah, you don't.
Legacy is something that ended almost a year ago.
Yeah.
You do not get the legacy items.
It's over.
With the new badge system and Bloodweb update, will there be a new something?
No. I'm not promising anything. Also, same goes for exclusive some exclusive that we did in the past that were on cards. These are not a thing anymore.
Okay. So we're not making.
If someone tries to get a card out of you, an exclusive or something, we don't add them. It's not.
Yeah, there's no more cards.
Yeah,
there's still codes, but no more
right.
cards. Okay. Okay. I think. So I'm gonna go back real quickly on the news and announcement.
Right.
Console. Thank you for being patient. If we had a date, we would tell you. We
For
do
Freddy?
not.
No.
We do not. Be careful, don't use your new map offering, Spring World offering, because it's not working yet. You can visit the map, but kill your friend. Customer support, please do not write multiple emails. You guys are flooding the customer support, and it takes a lot more time for everybody if you send 68 emails for your loss of progress issue. Make sure you give them all the information they need, so it's gonna make the process faster, and be aware that we are treating complete loss of progress before we are treating partial loss of progress. We also were welcoming our new community manager, China, Andy, and the WePlay exclusive is not available outside of China. Please stop spamming my inbox. To end on a really bad note. About bans, EAC bans, they have been deemed solid. So if you want a ban appeal, you have to go through EAC system. We are not doing the ban appeal for anything that is EAC related. Disconnector ban wave, be ready. We're coming for you. And extreme threats, we are perma-banning if you are actually doing in real life threats. We are not letting this slide.
We don't want that.
So on that very nicely done end of stream, I wish you a good week.
Yeah.
I don't have a word of the day.
I don't have word of wisdom, except maybe don't disconnect, face Freddy, and learn.
And thank you for your attention. Bye bye.